Well, greetings from Scottsdale Stadium. Andrew Baggarly, Giants beat reporter for the Bay Area News Group, and the Giants were able to get this one in just barely. Rain coming a little bit after they finished off a 5-4 loss to the Oakland A's. The Giants' first loss in Cactus League play. They're 3-1, and a first chance to see Jeff Samardzija and sort of complete that first turn through the rotation. Samardzija gave up some base runners and a couple runs in the first inning, but talked to him a little bit about his approach and said he was pretty enthused with how he felt, how the ball was coming out, and how he was able to throw his curveball, a pitch that until last year he hadn't thrown since 2012, and really he started throwing it out of necessity because he just couldn't find his splitter. It was the second year in a row he's really struggled to find it, and made a grip change and found that splitter at the very end of last season, and feels like it's a pitch that he can take into this coming season. But on the way, kind of realized that that curve is not a bad little weapon to have in your back pocket. So he threw that one 4 times today, and all 4 for strikes. So he took some positives out of that. And Samardzija, even though he had a little bit of an up and down year at times, his first year as a Giant, still finished 5th in the National League in innings pitched. Of course, with Johnny Cueto, Madison Bumgarner, they all finished in the top 5 of the National League. And that really, if Giants didn't get that from those 3 starting pitchers, a problematic year in the bullpen could have really blown up. So a good outing for him in terms of how he felt. A good day for Christian Arroyo, a guy who probably we're not going to see on the opening day roster. The Giants want to give him a full year at AAA, but he is their top hitting prospect. And you see why when he has a day like today. A couple of base hits, including a 2-run single. Made an out in his final at bat, which made him 3 for 4 this spring. Of course, he lit it up last spring too. The Giants would like to see him have a full year at AAA, not really have to rush him up. He could force his way to the big leagues this season, but the thought is that a full year at AAA would do him some good. He was just 21 competing in the AA Eastern League last season. Saw a bunch of other good pitchers today. Derek Law had an impressive inning, I thought. Chris Stratton threw 2 impressive innings. Michael Morse came off the bench and he got a couple of hits, a broken bat knock, and also a single to right field with 2 strikes. Showed a nice approach there. So it's not all or nothing with him. And got to remember, this is a guy, we think back to his home run in 2014 that tied it off Pat Neshek in Game 5, a huge pinch homer. But he's also the guy who had a base hit to right field that knocked in the go-ahead run in Game 7 of the World Series at Kansas City. So he can beat you going the other way in addition to taking the ball out of the ballpark. And if he has a good spring, man, it could really be interesting. You could tell that Bruce Bochy would like to have him on this team if he has something left. But he's going to have to do it in the field, too. And at first base the other day, he didn't look all that great. So long way to go, and a lot of chances will be given to Michael Morse to contribute here. The Giants are out in Peoria playing the San Diego Padres tomorrow on Tuesday. Madison Bumgarner will take the mound. Probably see him for 2 innings, maybe 3. Julius Chassin is pitching for the Padres. And in terms of Johnny Cueto news, that's also, you'll find that on the website. Cueto, the Giants still don't have a specific date that they expect him to be here in camp, but they hope it's by at least the middle of this week, toward the end of this week at the latest. For now, they say they don't worry about him opening as the number 2 starter, but that World Baseball Classic is looking less and less like it's going to happen. So, hope you'll tune in again tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and thanks for reading on all of our Giants coverage, and we'll see you next time.